Hello, my name's Corbin. I'd like to introduce you to our organization, Kentucky Fathers. This is our premier show. We'll be doing a number of shows. Our mission is to promote the value and the importance of fatherhood. And I'm about to read to you excerpts from a book called Fatherless America, written by David Blankenhorn. What he's written here really succinctly summarizes why I started this organization, or at least one of the reasons why I started this organization. And I'm quoting him here, we seem to go out of our way to avoid the connection between our most pressing social problems and the trend of fatherlessness. We avoid this connection because as a society, we are changing our minds about the role of men in family life. As a cultural idea, our inherited understanding of fatherhood is under siege. Men in general, and fathers in particular, are increasingly viewed as superfluous to family life, either expendable or as part of the problem. He goes further down. The core question is simple. Does every child need a father? Increasingly, our society's answer is no, or at least not necessarily. Few idea shifts in this century are as consequential as this one. At stake is nothing less than what it means to be a man, who our children will be, and what kind of society we'll become. This book is a criticism not simply of fatherlessness, but a culture of fatherlessness. For in addition to losing fathers, we are losing something larger, our idea of fatherhood. Our society must confront is not the absence of fathers, but the absence of our beliefs in fathers. So therefore, we have this organization I founded called Kentucky Fathers. There's a real good article here I pulled from the internet, and it's called Yes, Fathers Are Essential by Carrie Roberts. And I would urge you to get a hold of this article and to read it. I'm going to jump to the last third part of this article. And it says, scores of research studies have documented the positive effects of involved fathers. They said the National Center for Educational Statistics reported that when fathers are involved in their children's education, the kids were more likely to get A's, enjoy school, and participate in extracurricular activities. Another part of the study said that kids engaged with fathers demonstrate a greater ability to take initiative and evidence of self-control. 3, when boys grow up, they're more likely to be good dads themselves. But when their fathers are disengaged, then we have some potential problems of a higher rate of asthma, headaches, anxiety, depression, and behavioral problems. Teenagers are at greater risk of alcohol, tobacco, and illicit drug use and suicide. Adolescent girls are 3 times more likely to engage in sexual relations by the time they turn 15 and 5 times more likely to become a teenage mother, okay? Fathers are important. And this is why I've started what I've started. I hope to use different media in order to communicate this, because this isn't just a problem for individual fathers, but this is a problem for all of us. This is really a cultural problem, and we have to fight against it. Now I'd like to talk about the personal reason why I've started this. I've started this organization because over the past year, really starting in September 2014, my ex-wife, we had a beautiful daughter together called Sarah Jean. Sarah Jean is very involved with her. First 15 years of her life. I had her in soccer for 4 years. I taught her Latin, taught her chess, taught her out of the scriptures, particularly the books of Moses. We would do, every 2 weeks, we would do a Bible study over the phone. She did Bible lessons. I really emphasized to her in learning the Jewish roots of our Christian faith, to the point where we actually visited a synagogue. And I can just go on and on and on talking about the involvement I had in my daughter's life and how intentional I was in teaching her things about the Christian faith and teaching her things about Latin and chess, teaching her things about her history as a black woman in America. teaching her things about the Christian church and teaching her out of the scriptures and all. And then, my ex-wife, she remarried, and from that time she remarried, she got very intentional about alienating me from my daughter, and in turn, encouraging my daughter to alienate herself from her father. I started seeing a lot of negative consequences of that, to the point where my daughter has said some things to me that are rather disturbing. So what I wanted to do very next couple of minutes is just sort of say to fathers, I know a lot of fathers out there have become victims of what we call parental alienation. That's where when you're not the custodial parent, the wife oftentimes will try to alienate your child or your children from you. So I know there are a lot of fathers out there experiencing that. And we know parental alienation is really nothing but a form of child abuse. So I wanted to sort of speak directly to my daughter and hope that some of the things I say might serve as a model for other fathers who are experiencing what I'm experiencing as far as parental alienation is concerned. So, Sarah, what I wanted to do is speak directly to you, and hopefully in what I'm saying, it would not only be helpful to you, but also be helpful to fathers who are in my situation. First of all, Sarah, I've always said to you that you have my permission to approach me in a respectful manner to say if you believe I've done something that is wrong or that is a sin or that's unbiblical. I remember that when you were a young lady, you were about 8 or 9 years old, your mother and I got in an argument. Your mother obviously expressed how upset she was about the argument to you. You were not present at this argument, but she obviously communicated certain things to you, and you came to me in a respectful manner and said, Daddy, you upset Mama. Will you apologize to her? Now, I was sort of taken aback that an 8 or 9-year-old child would say that, but then I remembered I gave you permission to do that. And you did say to me in a respectful manner, Daddy, you upset Mama, and I believe that what you did was wrong. What you said was wrong. And so I asked you, I said, Sarah, what is it I said or did that was wrong? And you told me, and then you said, then I asked you, did this hurt you? And you said, yes, I don't like seeing Mama upset. So I did write your mother a letter of apology because I did give you permission to come to your father in a respectful manner and say, hey, Daddy, I think what you did was wrong. And I want you to know that even though now you're a teenager, you still have permission from your father to approach me in a respectful manner and to say, per the scriptures, Daddy, I think this is what you said here was wrong, or what you did here was wrong, or it was unbiblical or sinful or anything of that nature. That's fine. You still have permission from your father to do that. Second thing I want to say to you, Sarah, is that you have every right and even a responsibility to come to your father directly when you're upset with me. If I've said or done something that's upset you, you have the right and responsibility to come to your father, directly to your father, not through a third party. Come directly to your father and speak to your father. Say, Daddy, you did this, you disappointed me, you hurt me, you lied to me, whatever it might be. Now, given our situation, because I live in Louisville and you live 90-something miles away, and your mother and I are not at all getting along. And now we have this racist attorney who's involved in this situation, causing some very serious disruption between the two of us. You need to come directly to your father. You can write me, email me, go to a friend's house and say, hey, I need to call my father. Go to a friend's house and use their internet to email me. You can send me a letter and say to me, Daddy, we need to talk. And I want to assure you, your father's going to listen. And then eventually we need to get into family counseling or family therapy. So that therapist or that counselor can help us, first of all, restore our relationship, heal our relationship, and then help us build a relationship that gives honor and glory to Christ. What do I want? A lot of my counselors ask me, well, what do you want? And I said, what I want is to rebuild restore and rebuild my relationship with my daughter that gives honor and glory to Christ. So Sarah, I'm leaving this to you. I'm putting this in your lap. I'm doing everything I can do to reach out to you. Fathers, don't give up. I know at times many of you want to give up. I know at times it can get very frustrating, very stressful, very painful. It's nothing more painful to hear from your child, I don't want anything more to do with you. I don't like you. Nothing more painful or stressful or disappointing to hear from your child that lies to you or lies about you. But let's reflect back on when Peter lied about Christ. He lied 3 times. What did Christ do? He didn't come back to Peter and say, Peter, I'm upset. I'm mad at you, man, because you lied. You didn't lie once. You didn't lie twice. You lied 3 times. No. Christ went to Peter, sought Peter out, and said, Peter, do you love me? Asked him 3 times. Peter 3 times said yes. And then Christ said, then go feed my sheep. Christ was saying, okay, it's over. I forgive you. You acknowledge that you've sinned. You acknowledge that you lied. I forgive you. Now here's what we need to do to restore our relationship. And what did Peter do? Went out and did things that brought great honor and glory to Christ. Fathers, that's the attitude we need to take towards our children who have been put in a position, to sort of our alienated children. That's the kind of attitude and the kind of actions we need to take towards our alienated children. Sarah, that's the attitude I'm taking towards you. So we'll be doing a lot more sessions like this. Hopefully I'll have some published authors that come in and talk about parental alienation, come in and talk about the importance of fathers in a child's life, talk about the inept and corrupt family court system. Because believe it or not, people, you would think in the family court system who's designed to serve the best interests of the child, that they would do everything they can do to help the child have a good relationship with the father and a good relationship with the mother. That is not what they're doing in Jefferson County. That is not what they're doing in Jefferson County. I know this from personal experience, and I know this in speaking to other attorneys and other fathers. So we need to have some people here to talk about how we can deal with that. All too often, we have too many family court judges who take the attitude, fathers are not important in a child's life. That's wrong, and that's dead wrong. And the research is overwhelming that is wrong, so we need to do something about that. You can go to my website, KentuckyFathers.com. We also will eventually be on Facebook, and we'll have a YouTube channel too. Till next time.